So it's a day that will go down in history. Just over a year ago, former President Park Geun-hye became the first leader in South Korean history to be impeached for her key role in a sprawling corruption and power abuse scandal that shook the country to its core. And today, the court will hand down its verdict on Park's case. Our Park Hee-jun is standing by in front of the Seoul Central District Court for us. So, Hee-jun, we still have a few hours to go to wait, but fill us in on what's happening over there.
Mark, there's tension both inside and outside the court. The demonstrations that we normally see outside Gwanghwamun appear to have assembled near the court today, and the sentencing won't begin until later this afternoon, and Park Geun-hye is expected not to show. But protests are starting to take shape, and thousands more are expected to gather throughout the day. Many of Park Geun-hye's supporters have camped overnight, and they lined up placards across the streets, demanding her release and even her reinstatement. Large-scale rallies will take place not just in front of the court, but also across the district. In case the demonstrations get violent, the police have mobilized around 4,000 men in the area, and entry to the court will be limited, especially through the main door.
Well, it seems like we are going to see huge crowds throughout the day outside the court there, and let's hope that it doesn't get violent. But what exactly is expected to happen to former President Park?
Well, Park faces 18 charges, including bribery, abuse of power, and leaking state secrets. If found guilty, she'll face up to 30 years in prison, which is pretty much for the rest of her life. Prosecutors demanded 30 years in prison and a fine of over $110 million for the former president. The court is likely to decide on a heavy sentence for Park, as it gave guilty verdicts to her accomplices, and many of their charges overlap with hers. In particular, 11 of Park's charges overlap with those of her confidant Choi Soon-sil, who was sentenced to 20 years in prison. For the first time in Korea's history, the sentencing of a former president will be broadcast live. Arirang News will also broadcast the sentencing, so our international viewers will be able to witness what becomes of the impeached president. Back to you, Mark.